Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love haunted history and cemeteries as much as I do, you may want to subscribe, because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. Today we're heading to New Port Richey. We're going to visit the East Elfers Cemetery. This is a historic landmark cemetery, and there are a couple of them. There's an East Elfers in New Port Richey, and there's a West Elfers. So eventually we'll be hitting that one up, but today it's New Port Richey. Enjoy. We're here at Herschel's Scratch Kitchen in downtown New Port Richey. Let's go in and get a bite to eat. We have arrived at East Elfers Cemetery. I don't know why, but I just love that name. I think it's so cool and unique. Like I said, there's another called West Elfers Cemetery, but we're going to visit this one today. We'll probably do West Elfers sometime in the future, but it is a historic landmark, so let's go in and see what we can see. From where I'm standing, it looks to be a little overgrown. However, there are 886 burials in here, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of unique things to see here. So I'm kind of excited about it. It's a nice little plot of land, probably 2 or 3 acres. Just needs the grass cut, but that's about it. It is a perpetual care cemetery, so it is maintained, but it looks like management is a little lax here as well. As you can see, a lot of the things that are left behind here not very highly regulated. So you can pretty much bring anything here you like. The only problem that I usually have with that is that it does cause debris in the cemetery, which ends up just being trash blowing around in the cemetery. But it does make for kind of an interesting visit. This baby, Abraham Isaias Cantero, born on my birthday, October 20th, 2020, passed away June 1st, 2022. I just think this is such a cool little thing. This was just a baby, so it's a smaller plot with ledger and a beautiful little plaque up there. Some toys have been left here. There's a little mural painted into the back of angels, and it's just gorgeous. This is just really neat. This caught my eye immediately. When you walk in, it's just over to the right hand side. This is something I find very, very cool. I always can appreciate when somebody does something different, so unique and special. And God bless this little baby. You will always live in our heart. Look who I stumbled upon. A Robles, buried here in New Port Richey. I'll have to look and see if this Robles was related to the Robles family of Tampa. That's wild. It's so cool since we've been learning so much about this family. I bet this is a descendant of the original Robles. Very cool. And as you can see here, and you'll notice in some of the pictures I've taken, there's just a lot of stuff left here for the departed. In a way, it's kind of cool, because it definitely is interesting, because you always have something new to look at, but at the same time, it's a little overkill, you know? Or at least kind of come in and, you know, out with the old, in with the new sort of thing, so that it's constantly being rotated and better cared for. This beautiful angel here at the Robles plot is covered in ants. So, you know, when you have a lot of things like that, it causes stuff like that. More ants and bugs and, you know, stuff like that. It's a little better maintained. You won't have such an issue with the bugs and things like that. Here we have another really unique structure for a headstone. It's almost like a little curio shelf on the inside. It's got a ledger with marble tiles, and then on the inside here, it's kind of like a curio. It's got another plaque there with the departed's image on it, and a lot of little just trinkets and dolls and statues and stuff inside. It's pretty unique too. And just look at the work that went into this now. Over time, the tiles have fallen off. This is actually on a, oh crap, they're still falling off. I should be careful. But they're on this mesh. So it was like the strips of tiles that you see. They just need a little, probably to be replaced, but I don't think that those kind of tiles are actually meant to be out in the weather. This is usually something you'd use as a backsplash in a kitchen or something, and it's not meant to be out in the elements. So that's probably kind of why that happened. As you can see here, the tile that was actually laid and grouted, it's fine, you know, because it can withstand the weather. Still very cool, very different, you know. So this will be a really interesting cemetery. Right here, this is cool how with the gravel and rocks they made a heart out of the gravel. Very nice. This is a Gonsalves, Deborah Walton Gonsalves. That's a name that I've never heard before. Again, over here we've got a similar thing with the stones where they've created a heart over here, and right over here a cross. And here's something unique. So they have a little jar. If you can see that little jar, it's full of little notes, probably written to the departed and placed in a jar there. So this one here, she was young. May 28, 1978 to February 9th, 2017. Here we have another intricate tile design, and it's sort of a little house at the head of the departed here. Another instance where the tile is not holding up, probably because of the weather. But I mean, this is something that I've never seen before, so in a way it's kind of exciting because I love to see new stuff. And I commend this family's creativity and all of the others that are in here that have done something similar to this. I mean, that's very creative. So I don't really know how this place is managed, but it looks like they pretty much let you do whatever you want. I mean, these people look to have built their own monument for their loved ones. So that's really interesting to me, because a lot of cemeteries won't let you do that. Right over here, you'll see somebody just made a cross. You know, it's just a wooden cross. And I mean, it's done very nicely. So this is very unique as well. Of course, we see crosses in some of the other cemeteries, but the creative freedom they give people in this cemetery is profound. I don't usually see that. And like I said, it may not be the best managed, but it's really interesting to look at. Makes it a kind of a fun cemetery, a fun walkthrough. Look at that big crow. I thought it was part of the statue. I don't know if you can see it from here, but he is huge. Or a raven, I'm not sure which, but look how big he is. He's a big fella. He's beautiful, really a blue-black color. I don't know if that picked up on the camera. So over here, that monk there is actually, I think that's the monk that we saw in the pet cemetery. He's like the monk over animals. I'm not sure, I don't see any names on this monument, on this place of rest here, and there's no names. So I'm almost wondering if this was a pet of some kind here. Would be a larger pet. Looks like right here are some of the older burials in the cemetery. They have these very interesting wider ledgers. This one passed here in 1954. Henry O. Clark. Eudora Butler. What a cool name. If you're having a baby, Eudora. E-U-D-O-R-A. Eudora Butler Clark. Born in 1899, passed in 1952. And then a John Calhoun Clark, born in 1899, passed in 1967. This is a Clark family plot here. There's a really old one over here by the tree. Of course, has to be that of a youth, a toddler or an infant, but very small in size, right just under the tree. Something else cool about this cemetery, this is the Clark family plot. Now, Clark is a pretty common name, but I've also seen a lot of names that I've never seen before, very unique names. I'm going to take pictures of some of those, like Spiker. Never heard of that name. So it's really kind of cool. Here is a Beganovic. Don't ever hear that name. Two just very plain marble ledgers. There are a lot of this Bogdanovic family here. And I don't know what kind of a name that is. There's a Dimitrovsky here. Yeah, pretty cool. A lot of really unique names. And it makes me wonder if they kind of helped to pioneer this area. Now they're newer headstones, but I'm wondering if this family have pioneer roots here in Port Richey. This one here is Greek, Konstantinos Kyriakopoulos. That sounds like sponge docks to me. And we're not far from the sponge docks, so this could have been somebody who made a career with the sponge docks. One of the people that, he was born in 1948, September 10th, which is my mom's birthday, to December 3rd, 2019. So he very much could have been a sponge docker right there. Ball! It's not my Lucy, but there's a ball here. June and J. Lindsay Sr. ball. And a David Kevin ball. These were interesting. There's 2 headstones here that are marked unknown. This one, and there's one here, and I'm wondering what that could be about. I'm interested to look into that and find out. Now this Bailey here was the street name that we turned on when we turned into here. Born February 10th, 1929 to December 5th, 1997. So this could be one of the original settlers or pioneers, like, of this general area. I saw that Bailey spelled that way, B-A-I-L-L-I-E, on a street sign here as we were turning in. So I may have found the oldest headstone in the cemetery. J.S. McNeil, born January 12th, 1880, passed April 28th, 1906. God bless my home, it says. McNeil. And here's another McNeil here. There are a lot of military veterans buried here. So if you are into military veteran, seeking out military veterans, there's a lot here. And here is another unknown headstone, which is wild to me. They had to at one point have had ground penetrating radar to discover that there was a body here in order to even put that there. That's very interesting. Here's another really old one. I'm not sure if I can read it or not. That one's just, it's kind of illegible. Another unknown headstone right here. That little one. And there's just a little headstone here. I don't think it even says anything on it. Could even be a fragment of another headstone. If I had to guess, say that might be what it is, but you can't read it. As you walk in to the front entrance and over to the left-hand side, but in the front of the cemetery, you'll find most of the oldest headstones. This has been a really cool cemetery. I mean, a lot to see here. Unique things, different names. If your name is different or unique, or you have relatives or a family history here in Port Richey, I definitely come to this cemetery and try to seek out some relatives, because it's really different, and I'm so glad I stumbled upon this gem. And the name is so cool. Like East Elfers. I mean, can you have a cooler name than that? It sounds just so cool. So, again, it's pretty hot here. Florida July weather, it's no joke. You have a sweat mustache instantly as soon as you get out of the car. So, we're headed out of here. I hope you enjoyed it. See you at the next one. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you loved today's episode. It was a nice contrast from the closed cemeteries we've been running into lately. So it was nice to be able to just walk into a cemetery again and just enjoy the sights and see all of the memorials. And it was a beautiful assortment of different types of styles of memorials, and I just really enjoyed it. It intrigued me to learn more about the city of Port Richey and the background behind it, and, you know, all of the history. So I'm going to be like delving into that some, so that when we go and visit the West Alfers Cemetery, I'll know a little bit more about the pioneer families. That does it for today's episode. If you loved this episode, please remember to like, subscribe, and share on your way out, and I'll see you next time.